Hello everyone. So in the previous sections that we've been talking about attention, we've really been kind of highlighting some of the amazing ways that attention can function and kind of highlighted also the ease at which we're able to attend to events. And so I'm going to switch gears here a little bit in this section and kind of talk about some of the issues that can come up with attention. Now it's easy to kind of write this off as these are problems with attention, but as we go through them, yeah, there are some problems that arise, but also I want you to think more broadly about this of maybe there are some reasons why these occur. And so before I get too far ahead of myself, what I want to do is I want to provide you with two demonstrations. And the first one, what's going to happen is highlighted up here, is you're going to see a video. I'm going to try and insert it into the video that I'm creating here. So we'll see how well that works. And you'll get an instruction about what you need to do. And if I'm remembering correctly, I believe it's to count the number of times that the players in the white t-shirts pass the ball to each other. But follow the instructions in the video and we'll go through that. And then after that, what I'm going to do is insert another video into this video presentation just to highlight some of the main findings from the door study, and then I'll come back to you and talk a little bit about that. So why don't we go ahead and do these two demonstrations, and then we will come back and talk a little bit about inattentional blindness.
The monkey business illusion. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half miss the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it, but did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game? Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold. When you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events. And that's the monkey business illusion. Learn more about this illusion and the original gorilla experiment at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
So when it comes to the monkey illusion, I like to use this video a lot, and I have to admit, I have to be careful about using this video because a lot of students, especially those that have had either Dr. Broadbent or Dr. Bedell, they've already seen this video, and so they know that what's going to happen is that somebody in an ape costume is going to be walking into the middle of the players as they're passing the ball to each other. But one of the things I really like about this video is while most people know that that's going to happen, there are a lot of other changes such as the player walking off the court or the color of the curtain in the background changing that a lot of people miss. And so even though they may know about the gorilla costume or the person in the gorilla costume coming through the scene, it still highlights the effect that inattentional blindness can happen. And so that's one of the reasons that I like to use that particular example of this.
This video shows a participant from a 1998 study by Daniel Simons and Daniel Levin. Watch what happens as the unsuspecting pedestrian provides directions. The young man on the left is one of the experimenters. He has approached the white-haired man and asked for directions. Watch closely as two people carrying a door pass between them, and the first experimenter is replaced by someone else. Like many of the people in this study, the pedestrian was entirely unaware that he was talking to a different person. Approximately 50% of the people approached in this study didn't notice when the person they were talking to was replaced by someone else. This study was among the first to demonstrate that change blindness can occur outside of the laboratory. This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Daniel Levin and is copyrighted. Learn more at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
Now, one of the really interesting things about the door study is when most people watch this, I think as they watch it, they notice that this is probably an older professor. And I think it's easy to write off that professors are aloof, and I will agree with you, and many times I myself actually fall into that category. However, while this particular demonstration shows that this particular professor's aloof, it goes beyond professors. And actually, whenever this task is done, it's usually about 50% or so of people that don't notice that somebody's changed the door, or changed as the door is walked past the screen. So it's not just aloof professors. In fact, usually what happens is that it requires some sort of a drastic change between the two people that are receiving the direction in order for somebody to be able to detect the difference there. So it's a pretty extreme thing. Don't just write it off to aloof professors. Now, one of the key things when it comes to inattentional blindness is the fact that in this particular case, there's some sort of a change, but we're not necessarily aware that that change is going to happen, right? And because when we think about like what's actually happening here, it's actually not all that surprising. We're specifically directing or focusing our attention on one particular thing. So in the case of the players, we're specifically counting the number of times that the players pass the ball to each other. And so that's where our attention's directed. And because our attention is focused or directed at that particular thing, a lot of things can change in the background and we simply aren't attending to it, right? And so one of the things that inattentional blindness tells us is, yes, sometimes there are some problems in attention, but really it kind of also highlights the fact that whenever our attention is focused on something, we miss a lot of what's going on in the background. And that's not really all that surprising. In fact, it actually makes a lot of sense. Because our attention is focused on one thing, we can't really see all of the different things that are changing behind us, right? And so this is actually, at least I want you to think of this as a beneficial aspect of attention. Yes, this particular example of the monkey business illusion highlights that, we miss things that are going on, but it also kind of proves the point of we can't attend to everything in our environment. In fact, a lot of times we have to be selective, and in that selectivity, we actually miss a lot of the things that are happening in the environment. A similar thing happens in the door study. So with the door study, one of the things that I want you to think about for yourself really quickly is what exactly was the person that was giving directions attending to. Now, as you think about this, one of the things that you'll probably think about is, oh, their attention was so focused on giving this person directions that they probably weren't even attending to who the person was that they were giving directions to, right? So the directions themselves were the focus of attention, and because they were focusing their attention on that, they were missing other things that were happening in the environment. So in the case of inattentional blindness, it's kind of easy to write this up as a problem with attention, and maybe in some ways it is, but kind of bigger picture, it actually makes a lot of sense. Whenever we're attending to something, there are a lot of things in the background that we're going to ignore because it's not really relevant to what we're doing. So that's kind of the point and the key thing with inattentional blindness. Now I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about something that's kind of similar to inattentional blindness, but different. And that's something called change blindness. And so in some cases, people can miss changes to an object even though they're aware of those changes, right? And I'll come back to this in a little bit. But one of the key things with inattentional blindness is we miss things because we're not attending to it. We don't know that they're going to change, right? They're just changing in the background without us being aware of it or being specifically told to direct our attention to it. Now, in the case of change blindness, even when we know that there are going to be changes, sometimes we miss them, or it takes us a long time in order to be able to detect exactly what those changes are. And so in order to demonstrate that, I'm just going to present you with a quick class exercise. And again, I'm going to try to insert that into this video to see if I can get it to work. But in this particular thing, or in this particular exercise, what you'll notice is that I'm telling you in advance that there are going to be two changes between the two pictures, and it's still going to take you some time in order to be able to detect what those changes are, in part because you're going to be moving your attention around that. Now, The key thing to keep in mind here, though, is that unlike inattentional blindness, in this particular case, you're not really blind. You know that there's going to be some change, and it's going to take you some time to do it. So let's go ahead and do a quick example of a relatively quick example of change blindness, and then we'll come back and talk about the differences between an inattentional blindness and change blindness. Okay, so to demonstrate what change blindness is, I'm actually going to go to Go Cognitive, and you can feel free to do this yourself. I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to see this for themselves as we're going through it. But one of the things you'll notice here is that I'm using, I believe it's Microsoft Bing or Microsoft Explorer to do this, because it's the internet browser that allows us to not run into issues using any of the demonstrations on Go Cognitive. So if you do this at home, I would definitely try using Microsoft Explorer or whatever the current equivalent of it is. But what we're going to do is go to Demos, and we're going to go to the Change Blindness demonstration. I'm going to launch this demonstration, and I'm going to get a request so that we can do Flash here. I'm just going to accept that request, and we can get started with the demonstration. So basically what I have here is I have 7 different pictures, and what's going to happen is for each of those different pictures, there's going to be one change in the picture. So what your job is to do is to identify what that change is. I always kind of say it's the equivalent of if you've ever been in a bar and they have those little kiosks, and at the kiosk it's one of the games where you have to look at 2 pictures and determine what the difference is between the pictures. This is very similar, except this time what's going to happen is that we're going to flip between the 2 images. So let's go ahead and give it a try, and I'll give you 30 seconds to work on each one of these. So in this first one, there's one change between these 2 pictures that you're seeing. What I want you to do is to identify what that change is. Okay, so in this particular case, the change is going to be the shadow that's here. You'll notice that in one picture, the tree doesn't give a shadow, and the next picture, it does give a shadow. So I'm just going to select on that change. And now that you've had a little bit of chance to practice, let's go ahead and go to the next one and see how quickly and easily you're able to detect what the change is here. Okay, so here you might notice that it's the pole that changes. It goes from kind of having a wood coloring to an aluminum coloring. So that's a change in this particular case. Now, let's go to one that's a little more difficult. And so here, just look for the change between the 2 different pictures. And up here, maybe you've caught it, maybe you haven't. This one's a little tougher. But what you might notice is that the shadow on the moon up here changes. It goes from the left side to the right side, or the right side to the left side, depending on which picture it was showing at the moment I said that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select on that change. And here we go. Here's another one for you to try. So this one's a little tricky, but you may have noticed that the rivets up here are what changes between the two pictures. Here there's no rivets, here there are rivets. And we'll go ahead and go to this next one and see if you can identify the changes between these two pictures. Now for this one, I always like to give the pun to give people a little bit of a hint. With "Aren't you glad that I showed you this demonstration?" So one of the things that you may notice is that the number of oranges here shifts pretty drastically. So there are a lot of oranges, and then it goes to a few oranges, a lot of oranges, and back to a few oranges. Oh. And here we have another one. See if you can identify the change. Okay, and in this one, it's the antenna at the top of the helmet. You'll notice it shifts from the right to the left side. And then for this last one, see if you can identify the changes. Okay, so in this case, the changes here are the color of the flowers on the girl's dress. So we'll go ahead and click those. And that's an example of change blindness. Now, one of the key things that I want to get across and the difference between inattentional blindness and change blindness is, yes, they're very, very similar to each other. But one of the key things here, and hopefully I've kind of clearly laid it out when I've explained these two different types of attentional blindness to you, but the key thing to keep in mind with inattentional blindness is we miss things because we're not attending to it. We don't know that it's going to change. In the case of change blindness, we know that there is some sort of a change, and it still takes us a while to change or shift our attention in order to be able to detect what those differences are. So while there's a lot of overlap between them, the key thing to keep in mind is in inattentional blindness, we don't know that there's going to be any sort of change. But in change blindness, even though we know that there's going to be some sort of a change, it's going to take a while for our attention in order to be able to detect what that change is. So hopefully that makes sense of some of the issues that can come up with attention. And again, as you're thinking about these, it's easy to kind of write them off as errors in attention. And a lot of times So hopefully that clears up both inattentional blindness and also attentional blindness for you. Again, key thing to keep in mind is whether we are or are not aware of the change. Now, it's easy to kind of write these off as errors in attention, but I want you to kind of keep in mind that yes, these are errors of attention, but kind of bigger picture, these are actually not necessarily errors, but just kind of more evidence of how our attention works and the fact that we can't take in all the information in our environment. And in a lot of cases, it's actually good for us to ignore certain things in our environment so that we can actually focus our attention on what it is. So for example, in the classroom, maybe it's focusing your attention on what it is that the professor's trying to say, as opposed to the annoying clicking noises with a pen or tapping noises that your neighbor in the classroom is making as you're trying to listen to the lecture. So hopefully that clears up some of the aspects of attentional blindness. If you have any questions or anything like that, definitely please feel free to let me know.